Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. Everybody. Everybody's got one. Opinion-hated.
Okay, so this is the GGPLS podcast, the Grand Go to Papa Lifestyle Podcast. I know it's a very strange noise you're hearing there. Let's try it. So this is the GGPLS podcast. This is the Grand Go to Papa Lifestyle Podcast. This might be a complete and utter disaster, but you know me, I never let quality or quality control get in the way of a good creative idea. Never have in my life. And I've been wanting to do this podcast forever, so I'm going to do this podcast. This is an opinion hated, and this is why Blurryface by the 21 Pilots, in my opinion, is probably the best album ever created. And every time I have this thought because I'm driving in my car and I'm playing Blurryface, the album. So what I've decided to do today is to drive in my car and listen to the tracks while I'm driving. Hopefully it'll be low enough in the background. And then while I'm playing them, go over why I think these tracks are so incredible and why I think that all these tracks being put together make the best album in the world. Now, I had this thought a few minutes ago, so I'm already 15 minutes down. I probably won't even get through the whole album, but I'm still going to go for it. So let's go through it. Let's go. Blurryface, 21 Pilots, why it's the best album ever created. This is Opinion Hated, and this is the Grand Go to Papa Lifestyle channel. Now, I don't even know the track list, by the way. So that's one of the reasons why I'm playing through the tracks. I'll put the track list up later on the show notes. But here's the thing. You see how we started off with that rap? And then drops into this chorus, the singing chorus. So the very first thing I'll come off with, and I'll say these things over and over again, because it's true of so many of the tracks, is he has the bridge between modern pop music, 21 Pilots, modern pop music, and hip-hop. So, you see he's got a lovely pop-style chorus, a little bit of an almost drum and bass beat. I mean, this isn't really a hip-hop beat, this is really a drum and bass beat. So he's rapping over a drum and bass influence beat, jungle influence beat as we used to call it when it first came out in the UK, and then drops into this very classically pop chorus. First that free chorus that leads you perfectly, and then into this amazing chorus. Now I might sing a little bit with this just to emphasize the bits I really like. Then one of the things I'm going to go over and over again is 21 Pilots vocal cadence. I've come to discover that your vocal cadence is one of the strongest factors in making a brilliant rapper, and most definitely his vocal cadence is amazing. His use of falsetto in his singing, you know, he seems to be like a kind of tenor range, but then he'll flip into falsetto, you know, like in that chorus. And then this is a very nice middle eight because it's just a musical middle eight. So there's a little breakdown. Then goes into one of the many themes I'm going to go into, which is, you know, his topics, lyrical topics about depression and death. I mean, quite a lot of this album is very morbid, and I understand 100% why it will resonate with young people who are going through those struggles of, you know, what's life about, what's my value in the world. You know, a lot of young people have just been, you know, when you're a teenage and a young adult, you very much have these extremes of, you know, trying to grapple with reality and limitations posed by other people, whether it's sexually or culturally or racially, you know, and sometimes you feel quite worthless. I think particularly now in this 21st century social media zeitgeist, a lot of people will feel very worthless. And the concepts he talks a lot about of suicide or feeling unworthy or thinking about dying a lot, I think resonate a lot with young people. And again, you see this breakdown, the way he's broken down. One of the number one reasons I love this album is I wrote a lyric that said, "Me and you can't mingle because I make an album off the lyrics you'd use for a single." And he is the musical version of that. There were at least 4 or 5 musical style changes just in the first track. Just in the first track. 4 or 5 musical style changes. So that is a perfect example of all the things I love about 21 Pilots, and the whole album goes on to represent this in different ways. Here we go with Blurryface. Now this is a very old school, typical hip hop beat. It's almost like Top Billing by Audio 2. Remember that dum 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 bang dum 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 that Mary J. Blige went on to use in Real Love. This is almost reminiscent of that very old school hip hop. Starts off with a rap like he just did, and now he drops back into another classic hip hop chorus. This is more like an 80s type pop chorus. And again, the lyrics in the chorus are very, very, very poignant. So let's go back to when I first heard this song on the radio, and I think this was like the first hit I heard from 21 Pilots. So I was like, yeah, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of trap music around at the time, chain smokes, that kind of stuff, and I just loved to sing with that. Yeah, a bit of rapping, pop chorus, couple of drops. But when I actually read it and listened to what he said, was that my name's Blurryface, and I hear what you think. You know, even that alone is so anti-establishment and understanding that everyone in the rap world is going, I'm so tough, I'm such a fuck, I don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck. And he's like, well, actually, you know, I'm Blurryface and I care what you think. I am seriously affected by, you know, peer pressure and the views of others. Just that line alone is fucking amazing. Then he goes on to talk about his childhood and his brother and how things have changed and how much he now wishes, you know, how much he now wishes that they could go back to those times. Well, again, hence the chorus. Now, not my favorite chorus, and that's why when I heard this, I'm like, yeah. And I got why this was the single, because this chorus will resonate with, you know, young people who think they still have some good old days, even though they're only 10 or 11 years old, as well as grandmothers. You know, this is what I call the X Factor TV show appeal, where, you know, you make a song that appeals from, like, you know, grannies to grandkids. You know, so be honest with you, this isn't my favorite track on the album. When I heard this, I didn't take the artist all that seriously, but what I did, I basically re-examined this song once I'd heard the album. And the album was a chance. I was like, you know, just listen to a lot of stuff, and I was like, let me check this album out. So I got the album, and then I was like, wow. And then I listened to it more and more. And what I was blown away about the most with 21 Pilots is not just his eclecticness, or his eclecticity, if that's even a word. It's his ability to dive into different genres. It's one of my favorite things in the world. That's why, for me, this is one of the best albums ever. Because I'm the kind of guy who want to make a rock and roll song and then make a dubstep song. You know what I mean? And that's what he does. He seems to have this incredible knowledge of 1980s pop music, and then throws it into a 21st century cutting edge album that I find mind blowing. Now, here's another thing about my, you know, I said his ability to dive through dates, genres. Here we are coming in with a straight up pop reggae beat, straight away. This was another single. This is where I started taking him seriously, because I love the chorus. But here we are, he's got reggae in here. It's very like, you know, pop reggae. There's a lot of this about him at the moment, I know. But to me, this is more Scritti Politti or Ace of Base than it is, you know, Ariana Grande or some of the other acts who are pop acts but have been putting little bits of reggae in their music. This is much more, again, 80s. Now, this chorus I just love because I love humor. I love music that makes me laugh. And since the very first time I heard this chorus, I just thought it was hilarious. And then I love this little drop. You know, when you're going to hold a note like that, You gotta have the right note and that note. Taking my time on my vibe. It's almost like childish, like Sesame Street, but it's brilliant in a way. And then he drops into the rap again, and this guy can rap. And I gotta say real quickly, not only are his lyrics intelligent, that you can listen to them and he's saying something, and a lot of it is criticizing rap, and I love that. Because what it is about 21 Pilots as a rapper that I adore is he reminds me of the streets. He's not, he's not in blackface. He's not in boot polish, as Third Base called it. He's not trying to be, the Migos or, XXXTentacion or 6ix9ine or even the old school rappers, Chuck D or Jay-Z, or he's doing his thing and his voice and his style is totally authentic, totally unique and authentic. And it comes across amazingly. So I can imagine why lots of people wouldn't like him, because he raps like a white boy. But he really has his own thing, and it makes his rapping so much better than rappers who are trying to rap like black people. And also, there's no level by which, you might think he's whack, but you never say to him, oh, you're just imitating us, or you're in blackface, you're just trying to take the piss out of us. He ain't Ali G. who was never doing us a service. By the way, the reason I find this chorus so funny is because every time I hear it, all I think is, oh, whoa, oh, whoa, whoa, McFarlane, which is, oh, by the way, talking of screams, that scream musically, I fucking love that. That's just amazing. That the way he just kills that in the way that, only really great rock groups know how to, put a rock scream in like that. And he's thrown that into this music, which is technically bubblegum reggae. You know what I mean? So aside from, like I said, the chorus, which I always find funny because it always reminds me of, Ant McFarlane. I thought it would be a real good meme with Ant McFarlane falling down, okay? Oh, whoa, whoa, oh, whoa, whoa, McFarlane. Ant McFarlane from Ant and Dec. And that was before his recent troubles. So he just kind of got funnier to me when he got caught, drink driving, and I had another meme in my head of him driving a car, trying not to crash because he's drunk, going, oh, whoa, whoa, oh, whoa, whoa, McFarlane. That's why I was fucking with that. Oh! So, I'm driving, by the way, if you haven't noticed by the background noise. So these motherfuckers, this guy blatantly driving and texting, literally just drove into somebody on the slow lane, literally just, wasn't trying to overtake, just lost his position in the road, and, if I could basically, let's not go there. Now, this is another tune I love. Again, totally different style. This is more like that kind of trip-hop trap. I'll find the word for it, but like that Chainsmokers type music. But this is a real head nodder. I love this song, man. You just nod your head to this all day. And again, he's rapping, using a different rap style, much more stuttered. Then drops into another nice pre-chorus. And it's reggae again, listen. Hear that? So, he's got two things already. I won't know what exactly how to define the style of music, don't get me wrong, but it's a style of music. It's different from the previous 3 tracks. I kind of like the fairly local theme as well. It says a lot about, the nature of the album. What he's trying to say is like, I'm a kid from round the way. I'm a kid from the block. I'm a boy from the ends. I'm from the zone. You know what I mean? So he's got this thing like, I'm just from round the way, man. That's who I am. I'm a kid from your block. I'm a normal guy. And then he's got this kind of stuttered rap style. And then he goes into the faster rap. Even though this is the chorus, it's still a rap chorus. And the reason I like that when he says, this will never be on the radio, because he's breaking down something serious that, we've always known for many years, radio play. First, there's the playola side of it, and then there's the side of it where, they're just banging the club bangers. So you're not going to hear this shit on the radio, because it's a very personal song. And you're not going to hear personal music on the radio. So, even that alone is a really good, observation. What I love about his lyrics, and I'm a lyrics guy, his lyrics are so observational. It's almost like listening to a comedian. the extent to which is, lyrics are observational, as opposed to self-promotional. Most rap is self-promotional. And I do love these strings, by the way. Again, very kind of 80s. I can't pinpoint in my mind exactly right now where that comes, where what I would relate this to. But it's a really nice, string section. Like I said, his lyrics are very observational. He's not self-promotional. He's not, look at my Rolex, look at my girls, look how much money I'm making. Biatch! He's observing the world. So it's very observational, his lyrics. So again, this is, one of the things I love about albums, I love album tracks. Because when you have an album, not every track has to be a banger, because not every track's for the radio or has to get everyone's attention. So when I'm driving and I'm playing the album, this is one of them songs that I can kind of just cuddle up and snuggle into and just enjoy it. And it doesn't have to have, the highlights that you would need for a pop radio single. As you said, this is not a radio song. This is just a profusely proud and personal song. It's how I feel. But here's the bomb. Listen. This is 80s pop at its fucking finest. Musically and lyrical style, vocal. This could have been like a good version of Bob Geldof in the Boomtown Rats. For me, for anybody born out of anybody born, even these lyrics, songs on the radio, okay. But my taste in music is your face. Lyrically, this is so 80s, not fuck 90s, this is so 80s. And it's an era and he's captured it perfectly. And I don't understand that he's one of those, out of time people. Like, I'm listening to this like, how do you know this? You know what I mean? How do you know this? How do you know this kind of music? And how do you have the ability to replicate it so perfectly? You know what I mean? How do you do that? Even to this break, this little steps, this little march. This is fucking Top of the Pops 1978, 1982. You know what I mean? I can't pull up the names of the groups who would do this, but classic English pop groups would have made a song just like this, would have dropped exactly like this, and then ramping it up to this kind of punk shout in exactly the same way. Listen to this. Here's the shout comes. Goes from a whisper. It's genius in its ability to embrace an era and everything that era stood for. It's not just a lame copy or even a brilliant copy. I mean, I love that Taylor Swift album that was based in the 80s, and this is like a version of that, but on steroids. When she took Hey Mickey by Tony Basil and made Shake It Off, and took the element and the vibe of Hey Mickey by Tony Basil, and then put the hip hop vibe of get that dirt off your shoulder, shake it off, talking about haters and players. That was genius music to me. I ain't got no problem with anybody who hated it, but I love songwriting more than anything else, and I love people who can write great songs. And this album is like that album, but just on fucking steroids. Just 10x, Grant Cardone. It's like that concept, but 10x. And there's a lot of this. The other album I've been listening to non-stop for the last 2 years is Ariana Grande's Dangerous Woman, who's taken 90s soul and done exactly the same thing. So there's a level of it which you can think, well, all you need is a good producer from that era. But that's not true, because not every good producer from that era can update the music. Somebody in that process had to take that era and bring it into this era. And his ability to do that, Tony Pilots, is unfucking matched. And here we are again with a bit of reggae, but it almost sounds like a Snoop Dogg tune. That little, Right, see again, hear the lyric influence? This is more lyrically lyrical. There's a great scene from The Cosby Show with Lisa Bonet. She's getting into reggae with her boyfriend and listening to some Black Uhuru. And she's going, and I said, Ed man. And I said, Ed man. And she's doing that thing with her neck. And this song reminds me that this has got the same head note. Now, that was a comedy sketch. It was a bit like a piss take out of reggae, but reggae has this kind of head nod that you can't control your neck. And I'm in the car now doing the crackhead zombie head nod because this drop on this beat is so heavy, yet it's still fucking bubblegum reggae. You know what I mean? It's just like hardcore bubblegum reggae. To me, it's the kind of reggae that Ace of Base would have killed himself to make, or Streety Politi or Alpha Blondie would have killed himself to make. But and now he comes with a lyric, right? But now he's criticizing modern day rap and rappers and doing it very well. Now, I'm talking all over this, and I'm glad, because I don't want 21 Pilots to sue me. And I know that as an artist, he probably wouldn't. But his record label and lawyers certainly fucking will. So I may well have to take this down anyway. But the reason I'm talking over this is because this isn't for you to get this album for free. This is to tell you why this is the only album you need to have in your collection when you're talking about a certain style and genre from the 21st century, and you need to go buy it and own it digitally or physically or however you own shit. You just have to have this, because when they look back in history and they talk about the greatest albums ever made, this is Opinion Hated, and in my opinion, this is going to be one of the greatest albums ever made, not just in the 21st century. I think this is going to go down as one of the greatest albums ever made. Because here we are, talk about change of styles. He's just gone from neck break, head nod reggae with a relevant rap, and now he's gone straight back into drum and bass. And he's not just done it, he's done it fucking well, amazingly. Now, I wasn't a big drum and bass guy, so there might be somebody who's drum and bass thinking, but just for his ability to go from those styles, from reggae to his own rap, to this. I mean, obviously he grew up listening to drum and bass, and I really get that, and he obviously grew up listening to hip-hop and reggae as well. My fascination with 21 Pilots with this album is just his ability to blend and fuse those elements and be correct and spot on with every single one. Now, I remember when drum and bass came out, and we was messing around, and we did a couple of drum and bass mixes, and they were fucking horrible. So I know this from experience. You know, we listened back to it and we couldn't even lie to ourselves and say the shit was good. I suspect, or maybe I just hope, I don't know, jealousy, that he had some people, you know, come in with that ability to do that, or maybe he just listened to enough of it to have his own ability to do it. I don't actually fucking care. I just know that even that drop, and then those strings, that keyboard back into the drum and bass beat, is really just perfection when talking about representing that music form and era. So this is what I love about this album, Blurryface by 21 Pilots, his perfect ability to represent a music form and an era. Not one or the other, but both. You know, I just think it's outstanding. Absolutely fucking outstanding. I see. I'm playing this through the radio. My radio's sticking around now, but it's okay. It's a podcast. I can edit this. Here we go again. Perfect. This is almost 60. This reminds me of Lovin' Spoonful more than 80s pop. But again, because every generation's influenced by each other, this little guitar lilt is like almost like ukulele vibe. It's probably more 60s, but I would have heard it again in the 80s. And lyrically, that whole thing when the leader of the bad guys sang, reminds me a lot of Mexican by Jelly Bean Benitez. You know, Chico Fernandez, sleeping with his gun, string. You know what I mean? There's a kind of thing about that style of music where, you know, what he's taking me straight away to is being around a campfire when the leader of the bad guys started singing a sad song, you know, about his fucked up life of crime. You know, it's that, and for me, it's an instant transportation when the leaders of the bad guys sang something slow and soaked in pain. I'm around a campfire in the Old West. The leader of the bad guys is singing his song, playing his ukulele, talking about how fucked up his life is, probably lying, I didn't want to be a criminal, but that's how it turned out. I'm so ashamed of myself. So again, you got that. Now you got this wonderful, Again, you're talking about pop perfection. I love, shooby-dooby-doos. One of the things I'll probably do at some point. So I'm driving, so I'm trying not to cuss. But, most people in the roads are idiots. So, yeah. So, again, another nice rap mid-late, but this for me is more about the song. The melodies he's using. Now, again, vocal cadences. You're the judge. Oh, no. Send me free. It's like he's taking his vocal up and down beautifully in one chorus. Now he's back into more tenor. For good reason, so be. I know my voice is lower than his, but just follow what I'm saying. If you look at where he's taking his voice in one chorus and then boom, kill the midway. Again, rock. Bam, bam. Bam, 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 bam. So he's gone from. Oh, okay. So funny, right? I got so involved in what I'm doing on this podcast, I just realized I've missed the turning of the road of where I'm going, but luckily I'm early. So I can keep it going up. And then look at this change again, another change. Back to reggae. That's a steel band, those are steel pans. Oh, and that's like a reggae lilt. You got the reggae beat in the background. So he's flipped from, like I said, what was almost 60s, Loving Spoonful style ukulele music into the exact same song. You're still the judge, set me free, oh no. But now we're doing reggae. And it works. You know what I mean? The point of it, the reason I can be talking about the changes, that you can have lots of changes. And there are songs with changes, like Kendrick Lamar has some changes in his music that don't work. To me, they ruined the fucking songs. But all of these changes work. And here we are back, hit the piano. Dun, 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 dun. Now he's right back to pop. And, as I said, I love the na-na-na-na-na-nas. The bloody Phineas and Ferb, I would probably do another podcast on why Phineas and Ferb had the best music of any cartoon in the history of the world. And again, that whole ba chicka wah wah to me was not only musically genius, but it was a lesson in music and what music really is. And the power of nonsense vocal trills. So when you got this na 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 na, that's serious. Na 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 na, oh, is like a serious statement musically, because it feeds into something that we all love, which is vocal trill probably isn't the right word, but that whole ability to do some as I said, that shibidoo-wah or la 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 or na 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 na. So yeah. Now this again has a beautiful start. I will find the name of that style of music. It's not trap, but it's that pop version, and you can hear it right away there. Again, very deep and insightful lyrics. This is how he's feeling. It's how a lot of young people are feeling. Scared of my image, talking about fear. My best track, the best track on the Kendrick Lamar album is Fear. And I would play these back to back. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's my opinion on that. Yeah, sorry. Here is your introduction to me as a driver, and this is the best version you'll ever get. So back to this. Again, this is another tune that's just comfortable. You know, you can just get here and soak this tune all up. Massive pop chorus. Don't forget about me. Even when I doubt you, I'm no good without you. That's like, you know, some deep shit. People in relationships will understand that. Now, as you know, I've been around music for a long time, but I never studied music, so my terminology obviously isn't on point. I would have loved to have studied music so I could really explain what a lot of this stuff is, you know, musically. What were the terms of these little piano rolls and you know, styles and cadences are. But at the end of the day, for me, this is probably one of the most modern songs on the album in its own way. You know, this is probably one of the most modern songs on the album, and yeah, I think this is probably one of the most modern songs on the album. It sort of seems to stick to, you know, what it says on the tin, more of what you'd expect from the artist. And there is just really nothing wrong with this song. Yeah, so probably not the strongest song on the album, but still has all the elements. Again, more very insightful lyrics. I sound distracted is because I was just pulling into somewhere I'm parking, and I parked here before, and I basically ruined my tyre, so I'm a bit cautious. See, again, lyrically, I want to be a better brother, better son, better adversary to the evil I've done. I mean, this ain't some guy who's just rapping for the sake of rapping. You know, there's something quite really deep and profound in pretty much everything he says lyrically. He's talking about, you know, me and my friends got a lot of problems. And even if you listen to the music, the backing track, there's a lot going on in this backing track that you probably wouldn't really notice until you sat down like I am now, just really listening to the song. But what I like about this song is once, you know, I do a lot of motorway driving, and when you're blazing down the motorway, I can't do it now because, you know, but when you're blaring a song like this, as a pop song, it really does the job. But this whole album, even the slow songs are great to drive down the motorway with. And then after that very, very powerful chorus, a lot of scream in the background as well, you get a nice little drop like this, which, you know, is very interesting. Right, put me in fire, I think I lost my halo. And here comes his great ability to use that rock, shout, scream. As I said, his control of his voice is really quite fucking amazing. From having his own rap style that doesn't seem to imitate anybody, but yet is still competent. Which, you know, a lot of rappers who are trying to imitate other people are still incompetent. So he's a competent lyricist, competent writer, good content, his own style. Then he's got a great singing voice with a great range. From, you know, a good tenor to falsetto, And then he's got like, you know, an amazing rock stream. A really good one. You know, a really good controlled one. So, you know, as I said, his voice and his ability to control it is fucking astounding. And then you add that to the lyrics and the melodies that he pulls from fucking over 4 decades. And you have just a fucking amazing collaboration of ability, which then gets marshaled into these amazing fucking pop songs. You know? These amazing pop rap songs. It's like this kind of churchy, Hammondy style at the end of it. You know, but not like, you know, evangelical church. That's more like a kind of Methodist, John West church, but yet still has an amazing, you know, effect. Now, another one of my favorite songs. This is just amazing. Let's talk about pop songs, ukulele, and again, this would have been top of the pops, either 1978 or 1984. Again, we don't believe what's on TV. This is what we want to see. So this isn't, you know, somebody talking bullshit. This is somebody making great observations about the world he lives in. Talking about, you know, learning to kill our dreams. Now that change, melody-wise, is wonderful. The first 4 or 5 lines are very punky. Now he's tricked into something a bit more classically pop. And then also, not only has he got his vital lyrics, he's got some killer one-liners. I don't care what's in your ear, I just want to know what's on your mind. It's like, yo, man. I used to say I want to die before I'm old, but because of you, I might think twice. I'll be honest with you. I think I don't care what's in your ear, I just want to know what's on your mind. It's more powerful than I used to say I want to die before I'm old. But now, because you are, I might think twice. But that second line is a bit more classically love song. But that first line, you know, talks to the generation of people being so superficial and what you've got in your hair, what you've got in your skin. I don't care about that. What's in your mind? Who are you really? And then that verse I just talked over is a very deep verse as well. You know, really very good lyrics on this track. And it's a great little pop song. And that little progression, that little bam, 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 right up to this drop into the just his voice and the horns. It's a really nice piece of music. And I haven't mentioned the obvious thing. The greatest thing about this song is that original hook, that really punky pop hook. And it is a punky pop hook where you just start the song by going, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, I ain't heard no one do nothing like that for years. But it's an amazing hook that holds the whole track together. You know what I mean? And it just reminds me of, you know, Ian Jury, or like I said, the Boomtown Rats, or a lot of these pop stroke punk bands who were around, you know, in the 70s and 80s. Again, with this, you know, again, they're talking about really nice use of melody and chorus. And then a nice drop into that same melody, but he's doing it solo. So, as I said, I love songs. And this is what this album is to me. It's just a collection of the most eclectically well-written songs I've heard in as many years as I can remember. And I like eclectic music. That's why I love Wyclef Jean, and I'll probably love Wyclef Jean's The Carnival more than Dr. Dre's The Chronic. Not because The Chronic isn't a better album, because it probably is, but The Carnival had more variety in it and eclecticity. And we have another one right here. He's taking the exact same trick, but slowing it down. So rather than, yeah, 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 he's going with, yeah, 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 yeah. I ain't hating that. It's still very clever. And in fact, that whoa, 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 yeah, 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 told you that you're going to get a reggae drop, and here's the reggae drop. I love these lyrics as well. I'm wanted and on the run. What's nice about that is, you know, he isn't. But if you're going to do a kind of I'm a bad man and the police are after me song, I'd much prefer to hear it done in this way. Where again, you're dealing with reggae. This is more reggae than actually bubblegum reggae. This is a bit heavier. But again, seamlessly flips into pop. Like this is pop. and good pop. If this was the song, this would be better than most of the songs out there. Yet in the same song, he flips into a half-decent reggae song. And I love the call and response in this. Amazing. And this piece of music is really very powerful. Just the way it breaks down and just goes into that, really very powerful. As I said, I absolutely love this guy's ability to spit raps that are his own in his own style. So like I said, the only person I can think of who's really done this is the Streets. I know people say Eminem, they give Eminem plaudits for everything, but Eminem still raps more like a rapper. The Streets raps like a white guy from the ends talking, and that's why people fell in love with it. And this guy has still got the kind of the emphasis and boost as a rapper, but the style is nothing like anyone else is doing. If anything else, people will be trying to get a rap style like his, as opposed to, you know, saying he's trying to sound like someone else. So, you know, you ain't trying to sound like Whitey Ford or House of Pain. Not trying to sound like Third Base. Not trying to sound like Eminem. Not trying to sound like any of those other famous white rappers. Kid Rock. Neither is he trying to sound like Jay-Z or Biggie or Migos or, you know, 6ix9ine, or he's just sounding like himself. And he's done quite an amazing job with his ability to do that. As well as, like I said, seamlessly switching between musical styles. So yeah, I'm multitasking. I'm actually going to let you listen to that while I send this text for my meeting. Now this song I love because again, this is an amazing piece of modern pop music. I absolutely love this. Because it has all those modern elements and sounds. So this is probably really the most completely modern, in-time piece of music on the whole album. But it's done so well, you know, it doesn't seem to take away from anything. In fact, it brings it up to show that, you know, he's not just this kid who's kind of been time traveling and caught between all these eras and making music, mixing them all up. Actually, he can just make one piece of music that, you know, would fall into that whole, you know, as I said, the only group I can think of off my head, I know my car people, is the Chainsmokers, and there's loads of other groups, but that whole genre of music, for me, this fits in that perfectly. But it's a wonderful piece of music. I mean, Chainsmokers, Avicii, you know, there's a whole, you know, this whole genre of music. To me, this fits into that absolutely perfectly. It just sits right in there seamlessly, and it's a pleasure to listen to. It's a very haunting piece of music, and I love this haunting choir vibe. And again, these are serious lyrics. As I said, I'm talking all over them, but if you listen to what he's talking about, put away, you know, all the bullshit what your father gave to you, you know, we don't know where we're going, how to get the power in our soul, you know. And what I like, again, this reminds me of Fairly Local from the perspective of, he's talking about, you know, my hometown. And it's nice because he's talking about, I'm fairly local, I'm from round the way, you know, my hometown's in the dark, there's no light here. But what he's saying while he's saying that, you know, is But I'm a round-the-way kid, and I want to talk about my real-life experiences. And I guess what I love about this is I saw a few minutes of, I think I saw half of it, of the Biggie Smalls movie. And there's a point in it where Puff Daddy says to him, what do you want to talk about? And he goes, I want to talk about the regular shit that cat from Brooklyn, New York talks about. Whereas, the problem with so much music, I absolutely love this use of vocals, by the way, but the problem with so much music is that, you've got a kid from Sunderland who wants to try and sound like he's from LA. And although there's nothing wrong with that, he's trying to project an experience. Whereas when this guy says, my hometown's in the dark, I'm fairly local, he's talking about, well, I'm that kid. I'm not going to talk about the average cat, from Brooklyn, New York. I'm talking about the average cat from wherever the fuck 21 Pilots are from, because I have absolutely no idea. But I love that drum roll as well. But as I said, very, very, very nice, on-time, modern piece of music, man. By the way, my attention split, which is why I'm probably not focusing on this as well as when I was driving, because when I was driving, all I had to do was, drive for all the other lunatics out there on the road and concentrate on the music and what I was saying. So this piece of music, now I'm thinking about my next appointment. This piece of music is absolutely fucking awesome. For what it is, for me, I think it stands up with all of the greats who are making this type of music in this era. And the difference is, I love the Chainsmokers album, but the Chainsmokers album is all like this, and variations of this with very small bits of reggae and pop and rap and whatever. Whereas that's just one track. It's like, oh yeah, I can do that. Bam, there you go. That's an example. That's mastered. Now let me go focus some other genres and some other eras of music. I love this track again. This to me is quintessential 21 Pilots. Starting off with this concept of, deep inside lyrics. I think I'm better off staying in the room I was born in. The world's better off without me. Going into the world trying to transform it. And then brings in, the girl thing. I mean, seamlessly goes from serious philosophical content to, oh yeah, and then there's this girl that I really fancy, which I think is very, very teenage, very young adult. That's how you go to university, that's how the kids are. That's how we was. You would spit from, transcendental thoughts, but I really fancy that girl. And I love that, that lyrics, contradiction, and how happy it sounds, but the lyrics are down, and he vocally goes down. So, it's the opposite to what they did with the Mary Poppins, A spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. And it goes up, the vocal goes up when the word goes down. Now, the other thing I love about this song is, I'm trying to remember what it is. This beat is based on an Eminem tune, one of his very early tunes. Alright, it'll come back to me, man. But it's based on the Eminem song. And then again, awesome chorus. This is quintessential 21 Pilots. It's gone from this Eminem hip-hop based bassline of beat to this very Sgt. Pepper Beatles chorus, and then straight back into the Eminem beat. I think the Eminem song was the one that I hear these voices, these guilty voices, something like that. I'll put it in the show notes, but you know the one I'm talking about. This beat is based on Eminem's song. I think it's off his first album, the classic Eminem and Dre. Almost like Guess Who's Back Again, but there's one that he used which earlier than that, which is more on that. So here he is singing over this hip-hop beat, then drops into, like I said, this is straight classic Beatles Sgt. Pepper. And I'll prove it as this particular section goes on. But vocally, I knew it straight away. It's like, oh wow, you've been listening to your Sgt. Peppers. I mean, just beautiful mix of choruses and melodies, pre-choruses, middle eights. It's just seamless, and every single section, it's like you piece them all together and they're all perfect. I mean, that little section there was almost more ELO than Beatles, but had elements of both. You know? Now here, this is where the real proof that was a Sgt. Pepper background. Listen to these horns. And again, like I told you, I love shibby-dibby-doo-wah, la la la, shang-a-lang. I love that. So here we are. Just expert use of whatever the fuck you would call that music. And I said the backing to me is 100% straight up Sgt. Pepper. And even this, the way he goes out of that section, it's all very cliched. Yet to me, when you use cliches correctly, they're perfect, because the whole point of it is you want things that people recognize. And here's the difference to me between him and somebody like Puff Daddy or Mark Ronson. I don't listen to his music and go, yeah, that's blatantly sampled, that's blatantly sampled, or, you know, blatantly copied. He fuses these elements in the way that I would love to, perfectly fuses them. But yet they feel new and original. And again, this is one of his more soft and insightful songs. So again, it starts off, it's a really nice ballad.
Somebody catch my breath. I'm a goner. Somebody catch my breath. I wanna be known by you. I wanna be known by you. Though I'm beaten down, I'll slip away into the sound.
And you hear again that little rising drum in the background, a little sweep drum. So even though his vocals stay in the same place, the tension's building. And he has an amazing ability to build tension and progression in music.
I've got two faces. Blurry's the one I'm not. I've got two faces.
And I like this, I've got two faces. It's going to be the...
I need your help to take him out.
Talking about having two faces and needing help to control the one that he doesn't like, that the one he doesn't want to be. You know, he's talking about his weakness. It's a very, he shows all his insecurities on this, his heart's on his sleeve in this album. It's really beautiful. You know, it's actually really beautiful. Lyrically. And now we actually get the proper build. I mean, I just love the way this builds. I can listen to this all day. It's probably why I'm not talking. But this song for me is goosebumps. And if you're driving down the road and you've got this blasting, and you're just, you know, taking the corners and concentrating on the road, and you've got that intimacy and that insecurity in the music and that little build, and then here comes that almighty amazing rock scream again. And then this gives you a totally different kind of head nod. Now you're moshing. You know, he's gone from the ability to have me doing the crackhead hip hop head nod. Then I go and do the reggae. I say Ed Man, Black Uhuru head nod, and now I'm doing the mosh. That shows the ability that he's mastered different genres of music. That, you know, when you start doing that freaky head nod, no matter what the style of music is, it's because that person's touched you and captivated you, then grabbed you in a way that you just can't stop your body from jerking. And yet he's managed to do that to me in three completely separate styles of music. So, absolutely fucking mind-blowing. In every way I can think of. I think that might be the last track on the album. Let me just double check. See if something else starts. Yeah, so this is another album I could go into. I go into the Ariana Grande. Again, like I said, quite an amazing 90s soul album. Really good project. So my point is, that was it. I've been wanting to do that. that podcast for ages. I don't know how this is going to sound. I hope it isn't shit, because I've enjoyed doing it. And to be honest with you, the only way to do this podcast was in the car. I was going to do it sat at the table and listening to the album. But you know what? I don't think I would have got the insight, because I fell in love with this album in the car. You know, the car has two functions. It's the, as Brian Tracy calls it, the university, where, you know, you can play podcasts and audio books and any kind of audio and learn about the world, or keep informed, or study something that you want to learn. And then, you know, it's a wonderful place to listen to music and really get engrossed, again, in projects. It's long form. The car is long form. For me, anyway. You know, if you were like, you know, the soccer mom, and you're doing short trips to the, you know, taking the kids to sports and going to the supermarket and that, maybe not so much. Excuse me, I think that's why my wife listens to the radio more, because the radio is much better for short form. Turn it on, I'm only going to be 50 minutes in the car. But when I'm doing an hour in the car, and there and an hour in the car back, long form is great. So I can listen to a podcast, or I can listen to, you know, an album and really penetrate the album, enjoy the album, listen to different styles and things that are trying to be said and done, and listen to it more than once to really appreciate it and really understand it. So I really wanted to do this for ages, and I'm so glad I got around to doing it. I hope the audio quality is decent enough to use with the music in the background, because that was the whole point. Because the problem with it was, there's only other two ways to do this. And if this doesn't work, I might do it this way. But it won't work as well, and that's the dumb thing. I could listen to the album on earphones and just talking to the mic, but then you wouldn't be able to go through the experience with me of understanding what I'm talking about in sections. I'll be like, you know, and then there's this amazing rock scream 3 minutes, 30 seconds into the album, and you wouldn't be able to go with it there. So I've done a couple of audios with music in the background in the past for myself, or just catching up on making notes and stuff, and it hasn't sounded terrible. So I'm really hoping that this doesn't sound terrible, because I really want to put this out, because this is Opinion Hated. And, you know, Opinion Hated doesn't only relate to hate. It also has to relate to things that I love. And honestly, as I said before, I think this is one of the greatest albums of the 21st century. It is amazing. He's amazing in the way he uses his voice. He's amazing in his ability to go from singing to rapping seamlessly and be brilliant at both of them. High end, top end at both of them. As in, if he was just a singer, he'd be a top end singer, and if he was just a rapper, he'd be a top end rapper. He's amazing in his ability to have his own rap style and rap in his own way. He's amazing in his ability in this album to have deep and insightful lyrics. Firstly, as a rapper, which, you know, in the world of mumble rap is something we don't see a lot of. Although we saw a lot of that in the 80s and 90s, again, showing that that's where a lot of his influence comes from. And then secondly, again, as a singer, with, you know, the lyrics in his songs and the concepts and the things that he deals with in the songs. And then he's the king of melodies. He's a king of choruses. I mean, there's just no element or aspect of this album that he doesn't do. And as I said, most importantly, there is a song, I think it was Stay in Your Lane, Boy, where it goes, you know, if I had my own way, I'd have a time change. How do you say it again? We'd have a time change every time my mind changes. And that is all the way through the album. Now, the other album that I love that does that so well is actually Kanye West's album, which is, not the Ye, it's the Life of Pablo. There's a lot of amazing tempo changes and, you know, complete, literally 2 tracks in one song. And I love that as well. That's a Kendrick Lamar's album. I can't remember the name of that album, the one I'm thinking of, not To Pimp a Butterfly, but the one album Damn. He does it a lot, but to me they're much less successful. They're like changes for changes' sake, but they don't really add to the song. Like, what I mean by that is that, you know, there's a couple of changes in Kendrick Lamar which are like, okay, this is great, it's a complete different tempo change, different beat, everything, but I wouldn't listen to this section on its own. That's the point, you know? Like, for example, DNA. At the end of DNA, there's a complete utter change. So DNA is a really amazing song. I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA. And you got that whole beat. Then at the end, you just changes into this really erratic kind of Bomb Squad style beat. But that erratic Bomb Squad style beat, I wouldn't listen to on its own. It just, it only works as part of another song as a mid-later or an outro, and it doesn't even work as that. Whereas every single song that 21 Pilots has done on Blurryface, if you was to separate the pop section from the reggae section, they stand alone. You know, they would stand alone as their own songs. So what I'm getting is, you know, if there's 12 songs on this album, I'm getting 24 songs, maybe even 32. You know, and that's amazing. You know, so I honestly think this is one of the most complete projects I've ever heard. To me, this is possibly 21 Pilots' Sgt. Pepper, unless he's got something better to do. No, this is 21 Pilots' Chronic, because, as I said, I love the Chronic, but, you know, the Chronic was that whole style of, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Dr. Dre came with a style based on Parliament Funk and updated that with rap and gave us, you know, 10, 15 tracks of that, but they were all perfect as that. So it was fine because it was a perfect album. If that's the groove you wanted to hear, then you had an hour of that and it was perfect, and it just built on itself and got better and better. But, you know, I like eclectic music. I'm very eclectic in my musical styles. I love rock. I love pop. I love hip hop. I love reggae. I love dubstep. Also, I love dubstep, you know, and I like a lot of the genres in between. I love 60s music. So this guy has taken all of that shit, which is why it's my OpinionHated's best album. He's taken all of the things that I love and just seamlessly melded them into one album, going back and forth between the styles, lyrically, vocally, melody, musically, and generationally in one album. It's just fucking unbelievably awesome. So this is an OpinionHated. This is the Grand Go to Papa Lifestyle channel. This has been OpinionHated, and 21 Pilots, Blurryface, I think is definitely going to go down in history as one of the best albums ever made. And I think I've just spent the last hour or so telling you why I think so. So thank you for listening. People, hit us up. Review. Subscribe. All the good shit you need to do that lets us know that you're paying attention and we're doing a good job and you want us to keep us doing this. And we'll keep on doing this. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate anybody who takes the time out to listen to this. There's a lot of media out there. And as I said, we just want to be the voice that resonates with you. So if we're doing something that resonates with you, then I'm very grateful for your appreciation and patronage. So going to go to Papa Lifestyle channel. This has been OpinionHated, and I'm out.
Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one.
OpinionHated. OpinionHated.